All right, are we live? You guys see me? Guys, leave a couple comments if you guys can see if we're live. We should be on. Of course, I don't see it yet pop up on my YouTube. If you guys can see and hear me, leave a comment. This is the first time we've done YouTube. All right, are we live? Oh, there we go. I think we're working. All right, coaches, hey, let me know where you're from. Let me know what levels you guys are coaching at. Let me know if you can hear. Okay, it does look like it's coming through on YouTube, which is fantastic. This is the first time I've used YouTube before. We wanted to give this a shot. We are going to talk about the core 4 sets of the Princeton Offense today. We're going to talk a lot about Princeton. And let me know in the comments, you guys, what are your biggest questions about the Princeton Offense? What are the biggest problems or questions if you've been running it for a while, or if you're brand new to it, or if you think it'll work for you, or you're not sure if your players are good enough? Leave me some questions in the comments. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the Princeton Offense. Let me know what your thoughts are, any questions, any problems that you guys have that you would like me to talk about. And I will try to squeeze those in here towards the end of this presentation. But so what is the Princeton Offense? The Princeton Offense is and it goes back to the big problems we have as coaches. And that, to me, always ends up, you show up with your team, and how good are your basketball? I always felt like, before I became a head coach, I knew that there were games you could just look at your schedule, you just mark down, say, hey, we're going to win these games. These games are going to be close. It's going to come down to who executes the most, who just shows up more that night. And then you have a list of games on your schedule. Like, I don't think we got a shot to win those. So my problem started to come up where I was like, well, I want to be able to have a shot to win those games. But if my players are not as good as their players, how do we still compete? That's the big question that I have as a coach that I tried to solve. So when I was introduced to the Princeton Offense, that just kind of my eyes light up. I was like, well, that's perfect. That's what I want. That's what I need. That looks like that could be the answer to the problem. That is an offense that can keep me competitive in any game. And I'll show you about that in a little bit here. So the big thing is, just take your players and watch them at Open Gym, watch them in your games. How do you start your offense? It goes down to the crux of this. How do you start your offense? And a lot of teams, they'll come down to the wing, and they'll work on V cuts, they'll work on L cuts, they'll work on circle cuts, or they'll down screen the post. But here's where the problem comes in. The problem comes in when that player is more athletic or faster or longer or bigger than this player. Okay? And if that's the case, if I'm going to V cut to get open, or L cut or circle, or turn around and pin and pop, if that is how I'm going to get open in this situation, then advantage them. I'm fighting their strength right now. I'm fighting their strength. They're going to beat me at this, 7 or 8 out of 10 times if they're the more talented, more athletically gifted player. So how do we combat that? You might say, well, we might set down screens. Okay, and what happens if we set a down screen and they're a good, athletic, well-balanced team? A lot of teams might switch this. Or he might just be quick enough to skinny through there, or long enough to get a hand out there, and now you're catching the ball here under pressure if they don't get a deflection, don't get a piece of it. So a lot of coaches will say, well, their philosophy is to get open. My philosophy is to be open or not be open. Okay? Because if I have to rely on this player getting open against this player, and this guy's a better athlete, a bigger, faster, stronger player, I'm going to have problems here, okay? So what we do, when you first start on the Princeton Offense, what we do, we really focus on spacing. We get off of the three-point line, and we get up away from the foul line extended. So, a lot of teams will start running the offense there, but they're guarded there, and then they got the V cut and work real hard to get in there. We start the offense way out here. We don't need to score on the first pass. We don't need to score on the first pass, but what we do like to do, all right, is just get into the offense. All right, we just like to get into the offense. So what we do is we get off the three-point line, and I know now that the defender, they typically like to stand around that three-point line. They're either going to go, man, he's going the wrong way. I don't need to guard him out there. He can't score from out there. Let him catch it. Good for us. Okay, the other thing that they'll do is they'll come out here and they will full out deny that. And now that's good too, because now we know how they're playing us. We know they're pressuring you. We know they're denying you. We know that we're going to be in for a long night. And it's good because that we know that, because this guy can see that. And if he sees that he's not open, say, I'm going to run something different. Okay, we can't run low post because they're better than us defensively, and they're taking that away. So let's run something else. Okay, so the next look would be, whatever the next look is. Okay, so let's talk about. So that's the big philosophy. That's the big philosophy about the Princeton offense is getting into the right offense. Okay, getting into the right spots, being open versus getting open. We like to be open or not be open. We want it to be one or the other. We don't want the ball handler to ever have to guess whether or not they're open. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the 4 core sets. All right. The first set is low post. All right. The first set is low post. And I'm going to have to switch markers because this one's obviously dying on me. All right, low post is the first set in the 4 core offenses. If you have a big that can score in the low post, you want to run low post. All right, a lot of teams and a lot of coaches that run Princeton, they just run the high post stuff. They just run the chin and the point and the high post stuff, but not very many really run the low post stuff and run the low post stuff well. So the first look in the Princeton offense, we're going to go low post. I'm going to write this over here so I don't get on this other board. Low post starts with a guard to forward pass. We call these guys the guards, and these guys are the forwards. Okay, now for teaching's sake, I'm giving them numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But when we actually teach the offense to our players, we don't give them numbers. We just say, you guys are guards, you guys are forwards, either on the left or the right. Wherever these players, wherever they like to start. Okay. So the first pass is going to the wing. And again, we're off a 3-point line. We're not trying to score with the first pass. We're just trying to get into the offense. All right, so first player is now going to cut away as hard as possible and fill the opposite wing. Now, getting a little bit more advanced here, there are 3 ways that we cut. We're going to cut immediately and hard. We're going to hezzy, then cut. And the third way is we're going to be very deliberate. We're going to walk, and then cut. Okay, and because if you're talking to your point guard, if you're talking to your basketball players dribbling the ball, what do you tell them to do? Change speed, change direction. Exact same thing when you talk to your offense. What do we do offensively? Well, you want to change speed of your offense, and you want to change the direction of your offense. So we'll cut. We'll make this pass, and boom, just cut. We'll make this pass, and then we'll stand, and then we'll cut, and then we'll make this pass, and we'll just deliberately walk that defender's face guarding, and then boom, and then we'll cut. Okay, that's a little more advanced, but that's exactly what we teach our players. Okay, we cut 3 different ways. Hey, guys, there's 3 different ways you cut. Work on all 3 of them as we rep them, okay? All right, so we're running low post. The ball is now in the wing. Our 1-man's cut to the corner, and our 2-man is going to fill the point. All right, now the point is not right on the 3-point line. This is attention to deal here. We don't run right there to the 3-point line. Okay, we don't want to go right. That's where the defense is. We don't want to go right where the defense is going to be. We like to be about 2 feet off the 3-point line, right on the midline, and that is the sweet spot to run point. That is the sweet spot for that guard to fill. Is this point spot? Coaches, as you guys come in, let me know where you're coaching, what state, where you guys are from, and if you're new to Princeton or if you've been running Princeton a while, let me know in the comments. Okay, so the 2-man is going to fill the point in low post. So what we have here is we fill the point, the wing, and the corner when the ball has been entered to the wing. Okay, our first look will always be low post. All right, so once the ball is caught here, if the low post is open, we're going to zip it open. Do you guys teach your players to fake high, wrap around, or you guys teach them to fake low and zip it over the top? Let me know what you guys do. I like zipping it over the top because I think bigs like catching the ball up here. I don't think bigs like reaching around. If there's a smaller big guard in them, those guys can drop back and they're sneaky and they can get around and then get pieces of that. And the other thing is officials don't make that call. But if you throw the ball out here, out to my hands, out in front of me, that defense is now coming over top of my shoulder. Officials see that and they like to make that call. Okay. All right, we throw the ball down into the low post. So now we have 3 options. Okay, once we go low post, what can you guys see here? There you go. Once we go low post, there are 3 options that we can do, and our players love this because now the players feel like, well, I get to make decisions on the floor. You know, and we don't tell our players what to do on the floor. We let them read the game. We let them do what they do. Okay, do what they see. We give them all the options, and then we let them play. Okay, but the first option in low post is what we call low post corner. And if you're not familiar, if you've never run Princeton before, we don't get very cute with the way that we name the plays. We actually just call them what they are. So we throw the ball here. I say, guys, let's get it into low. And if the ball goes down to 5-man, it's low post. All right? Or we'll try to go low post. We'll just say low post, the ball comes to the wing, ball comes down here, we're low post. If we say low post corner, you guessed it, he's going to the corner. Okay? If we say low post cut, he's going to go low post, and boom, he's going to cut. All right, if we say low post screen away, fellas, he's going to go low post, and he's going to screen away for this guy. Okay, those are the 3 options in low post, the 3 core options. Okay, let's just start with low post corner because that is the easiest. That's the one I would teach first. Okay, and you're going to ask, like, well, Coach, what order do I teach this in? Well, there is a lot in the Princeton offense, and one thing that, if you haven't run it before, one thing you need to do, you need to have a playbook. You need to see all of the options. Once you have all of the options, now you can go through and decide, well, what fits best with my personnel, and then you can decide what to teach. So if you like low post, and also, we're not going to get too far into this now because I could go for about 4 hours on just low post, going through every single option and how we get to everything. But if we go low post corner, we can do one thing. If we go through low post cut, we can do another thing. If we go low post screen away, we have 2 or 3 or 4 different things that we can do, and I'll talk about them initially. But if we go low post corner, the first thing that we do once the ball hits the 5-man, the 3-man cuts to the corner. All right, and we teach our 2-man to back cut immediately. Ball touches the 5-man's hand, the 2-man is back cutting. Reason why is because there are 3 defenders. You got the guy guarding the 5, but there are 3 other defenders in the paint stopping the 5-man from scoring. We want to help our 5-man score. So what happens is if these defenders are standing here, the 5-man can't make a move in here to score. Plus he's got his guy on him. So what we do is we backdoor. And what we tell our guys is to watch the guy in front of you. He'll tell you what to do. So when he goes back door, the next player fills their spot, the next player fills a spot, and this one's going to get out. Might seem simple, but this is what happens. And this is what we train our players to look for. Is now this defender who's guarding, now let's say the 2-man, let's say this defender who's guarding the 1 starts to head out here and guard the 1. This defender who's guarding the 4 starts to come up here and fill this gap to where the 4 is. This player who's guarding 2 is chasing his tail like crazy because we cut hard. When we cut hard. We cut straight, we cut hard, we cut credibly. And this X2 is now chasing him outside the paint to try to chase him to the corner. And now the 5-man looks in the middle of the floor, and that's what he sees. This is what we try to do. So now the 5-man can start making a move in here in the middle, and he can go around and score on this side of the basket, or he can drop step and score on this side of the basket. Okay, and we teach those skills to our post players. This is the method. This is the strategy we teach our players. So and it's the players know where they're pointing. They know where their baskets are going to come from. They know that, hey, when this guy cuts, hey, my first look is, did the defense move? If the defense moved, now I can make my move in there to look to score. Okay. So if our 2-man goes and our 1-man goes and our 4-man fills and these guys get out here, our 5-man is going to make a move in there and try to score. That's the first look. That's the first look to try to score out of low post once you throw the ball into the low post. Okay? All right? We're not going to teach you today all of the combos. If we got into the combos and we got into transitioning from one set to another set, that would take a few hours. Okay? So what I really want to do in this is teach you the core 4, but just note that everything that happens in Princeton, if they take something away, there is another option. If they take that option away, there's another option. If they take the third option away, there's a fourth option. There is nowhere that you can, in theory, you can't get stuck in the Princeton offense if you don't dribble it off your foot or throw the ball away or mishandle it. Okay, that's the goal. That's the philosophy. You can never get stuck. There's always an option. There's always a counter. There's always a wrinkle. There's always something else you can do. We can't talk about all of that right now. We're just talking about the foundation. All right. So that's low post corner. Okay. All right. We go now. Let's go low post cut. All right, remember, we're off the three-point line, above the foul line extended. Ball goes to the wing. Boom, we're filling point, wing, corner. All right, let's come down here. Three-man's got the ball. Here's a 5. We're throwing there. We got 2, we got the 4, we got the 1. And now, let's say we feed the 5, but man, that guy is just sticking him. He's just sticking him. So what we're going to do is we'll tell him, hey, if the guy's on you, cut. Okay, and now we're going to cut all the way through the corner. And this is one, we don't teach this one first, but this is the one that I'll see your players get a little more lazy, because this player is used to back cutting going down there when the ball goes low post. But as soon as the ball hits here, and if we cut, this player is going to now fill that spot. Okay, or if your players do a good job of making this pass, and while the pass is in the air, if they're quick and they cut immediately, and then the 5-man touches the ball. Remember what we said up here when we went low post corner, is this 2-man's going to cut. The second the 5-man touches the ball, 2-man's going to cut. That's fine. You can have 2 cutters there. That's great. Okay, but now your 4-man has to realize that we got 2 empty spots here, and now this 4-man has got to fill all the way around. And the 1-man's got to fill all the way here. All right, and the 3-man was first, so the 3-man, yep, 3-man is now going to fill the wing, and the 2-man who cuts now going to fill the corner. Okay, there's a lot of lines on there, but you guys see what I'm trying to get at? All right, if 3-man goes cut and the 2-man also cuts, or cuts a split second behind, because that's what he's supposed to do in low post corner. Now this is where your guys are. You got the 4-man here, you got the 1-man, you got the 3-man, you got the 2-man. Okay, and now you're set back up again. All of this movement, I shouldn't take all that away. All of this movement, all right, all this is doing is taking these defenders, these 1, 2, 3, 4 guards, and chase them outside the paint. Chase my guy outside the paint. Chase my guy through and then outside the paint. And then chase my guy all the way through. Now chase my guy up here. And all we're trying to do is make room. We're just trying to empty this space out just enough so that the 5-man can get in there and slide and make a move. Okay, that's all we're trying to do. All we're trying to do, we're cutting. And one, if there is no help side, and this guy goes back door, we might be able to have him for a layup. Okay, but if those defenders are in here instead, it's going to be hard to get back door. But that back door serves a greater purpose. That back door is now going to open up this area. So now your 5-man can get in there and make a move and try to score. Okay. Hey, as you guys are coming in, leave a comment. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know. Comments are working. Yeah, comments are working. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what level you guys coach. Okay. All right, let me know if you're coaching boys or girls. I love the Princeton Offense for girls basketball. If I were to go back, I coached girls for 7 years. I coached boys for 7 or 8 years. If I were to go back into it and coaching girls, I would run Princeton without hesitating. It's such a great offense for the girl game, for the ladies game. Okay, so that's the second option, low post cut. Right, the third option in low post is low post screen away. All right. So let's go. Let's just kind of skip the intro because now we're pretty familiar. Well, let's just do it because we got guys coming in. All right, we're off the 3-point line. All right, we're going to throw it to the wing. Boom, we're cutting through. We're filling point, wing, corner. And now the 3-man is going to zip it down to the 5. All right, so we got point, wing, corner. And now let's just, for the sake of you guys have seen our guys now do this. All right, as soon as the ball touches the 5, boom, we're back door, and we're filling, and we're filling, and we're filling. Let's just make that automatic. Do that every single time. Make that so automatic that we're getting, and you tell your players why. Explain to your players why you're doing it. We're getting these defense to move so we can empty out the center lane here so that our big man can score, okay? All right, so now we've got the 4-man, got the 1-man, got the 2-man. And now the 3-man is going to screen away. All right, now this is the big thing about the Princeton offense is how they screen, how your players screen. And this is what they do. Most teams and most coaches will teach us, when you're setting a screen, what do they say? Set your man up. All right, the coach says, hey, set your man up to come off the screen. Okay, so they're going to come in here, they're going to come below the screen, and then they're going to work up here to come off the screen. How many guys do that with your players? How many of you seen other coaches do that? How many guys, this is just ingrained in basketball. All right, if you're coming off a screen, get down below the screen, get your defender below the screen, and then come off and use it. Okay? We don't do that. We never do that. Okay, we don't teach that. We don't believe in that. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, because there are 3 ways. There are 3 ways that you can come off of a screen. There are 3 ways that you can use a screen. You can go and you can come here and you can use the screen. You can curl the screen. And here's the one that no one does is you can back cut off of a screen. You can reject the screen and go back door. Okay, no one does that. Okay, but here's the thing. There's 3 ways to use a screen. But if I take my man all the way down here and then come all the way up, okay, I've eliminated pretty much the last option. I've eliminated the back door off of the back cut. Okay, I've eliminated. Now I'm sprinting hard to come off of it, and it's hard to stop on a dime and go back door. Okay, so this is what we do. And I'm going to set this screen just a little bit inside the elbow, right about there. Okay, because I want to give this guy some room to work. What we do, this is how we come off screens. This is kind of a little bit bonus. I wasn't planning on going in this deep, but this is a little bit of a bonus. So what we do is we pretty much walk or 3/4 jog up to the screen. We're not going to sprint into the screen because we want to change speeds. We want to change speed, change direction. So we don't go as hard as we can at that screen. We're going to walk up to it. Just kind of walk. And then as we get about 3 or 4 feet from it, now we're going to start breaking our feet down. Chop. We're going to chop our feet. And now here's the thing. Our defender, who maybe was down here, is now getting closer and closer to me. And now, can you shake someone? This is we tell our players, hey, come off that screen, shake them and bake them. Make a move. Can you get open here? Can I chop my feet and then juke him here so he tries to shoot over and boom, go back door? Okay. Can I get in here and juke him down low and get my defender down here and then use the screen? Okay, can I start here, juke him, and he's playing me tight, he's a really good defender, he's trying to squeeze through. Can I curl and now get him on my hip? Okay, those are the 3 ways that we teach the screen, but you can't do it if you V-cut and set them up. Okay, we don't like V-cutting one-on-one because if we're playing against better athletes, they're going to beat us. They're better. Okay, if we're playing against faster players, they're better. We don't want to fight their strength. Okay, so we just walk straight up to the screen. We walk up to it, we chop, and boom, we're going back door. Boom, we're going to curl because he's playing us tight. Boom, we're going to use it because he got screened. He got too far underneath. He went underneath the screen, we're going to use the screen. Okay? And that's just fundamental basketball. Okay? You guys understand that? Is that making sense? Okay, does anyone already teach it like that? Or do you teach it the old way where you're V-cutting and just using the screen, most take your man underneath the screen and then using it? Okay? All right, so let's do this. 5-man's got the ball. 3-man setting the screen. And let's go ahead and go back door first. We teach the back door first because it is the hardest, because no one ever does it. Your players don't do it. They weren't taught to do it when they were young. They just don't. They don't go back door. So every cut we teach first is a back door cut. And then we'll teach them to curl, and then we'll teach them to use the screen. We'll teach the one that they do all the time last because that's the best at. And what's going to happen is our players are going to, it's going to be ingrained in their head. Hey, let's go back door. I know why I'm going back door. I'm going back door to score. I'm going back door to help my teammates out behind me to get them open. Okay, I'm going back door so that I can empty out the lane so my 5-man can score. Okay, I'm going back door for the team. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get here, chop our feet, get that defender right in between us. The defender's got to make a decision. And then boom, let's go back door. Okay? Who was here? 1-man. Okay. So when we go low post screen away, the action, it's different than low post corner, low post cut. Because now I can't fill the corner because the 2-man's there. Okay, we're not going to fill up here because our 3-man has now left his spot or her spot. Okay, So when we go low post screen away, we're actually going to fill underneath the 5 and fill the right side of the floor in this case. All right? And our 3-man, anytime you set a screen and they go backdoor or curl, you reverse pivot. You follow your butt, you reverse pivot, and we're going to pop back away from because our defender is probably helping on this screen, so we're going to pop, not straight up the line, but we're going to pop away from our defender, kind of at a little bit of an angle. All right, and this is what we're looking at now. Got the 5-man with the ball. You've got the 4-man who's cut through. You got the 3 to screen and pop. All right, you got the 2 and the 1 over here. All right, now your first look, you could be anytime. This is why they say the screener is the most dangerous player on the floor. It's because when the screener, and especially even more so when you go back door or curl. Because if you curl and go back door, it's the same action. Both of them take the screener's defender down here. He's going to help, or they're going to hedge, or they're going to lean one way to try to help this guy. I mean, we went back door for a reason. We beat this guy. We're curling for a reason. He's chasing. He's behind us. So that defender, the screener defender, has got to step down and help a little bit. That's how the screener gets open. All right. So our first look will be here for a shot. Okay, that'll be our first look. There for a shot. If we don't have them back door for a layup. And that's going to completely depend on where are these 2 defenders. Where's X2 and X1? Are they here? Probably not going to get the layup. Are they here? You might get the layup. All right, good defensive teams are here, but you'll see them. You'll see them sitting over there. Okay. Does anyone the difference between high school? I love this. The difference between high school, college, and pro defensive players. This is exactly it. All right. In high school, ball's here. These 2 defenders, this is where they're at in high school. Good high school defensive teams. In college, they're just a little bit more. They're a lot more athletic. They can get over here, and they can still cover that ground. But the spacing's different in the college game. So if you're watching college teams run Princeton, they're going to run it a little. I mean, there's going to be different stuff open for them. You know, there's going to be more spacing, but those athletes, they can close the gaps. Everyone's athletic in college. They can close those gaps a little bit better. NBA, they're out here because they have a 3-second defensive rule. Okay, they're not allowed in there on defense, but they can get in there and pop out, get in there, pop out. If I could take an NBA team and run Princeton in more of a pure fashion, I would do it in a heartbeat because the spacing is so incredible. It's kind of like the Warriors' first 3 runs for their championship. They ran a lot of Princeton-type cuts. They ran a lot of backdoor, a lot of point over the top, a lot of that kind of stuff. Sacramento Kings, back in the early 2000s, battled with the Lakers. Pete Carroll was an assistant coach on that team. They ran a lot of Princeton. They were really good at it. The Nets ran it very well with Jason Kidd. The Wizards ran it for a while. That was Gilbert Arenas when he was young. But anyway, that's the difference between. I always like pointing that out. Okay, but you see what we're trying to get at. We're trying to get this lane open. We do all this backdoor stuff. We try to get this lane open. We try to get the next guy open. The screener is always going to get open off of a backdoor or a curl. Okay, so this is where we're at. Okay, so we got low post corner, low post cut, low post screen away. What happens? What do we do if we? All right, if we go curl. All right, we're still popping out this way. 3 men still popping out. Exact same thing. Okay, if we go low post screen away. And there's 3 options off this screen. There's 1 option here, 1 option here. All right, there's 3 options off low post screen away. Here's your 3, here's your 4. What happens if we, boom, come off of it and use it? And we're walking straight up to the screen, chop, 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 boom, and use the screen. This is where, again, I like keeping it simple. But once your players are more advanced, you can do a lot of different stuff. You don't have to. You could just pop this guy out, and now your low post is point wing corner again. But I like our players to move. I like our players to move. So if we're going to use it, what I usually tell is if we don't go back door or curl, I usually tell my 3-man. I usually tell them to do the same thing that they would do that the back door guy would do. Go underneath, fill this out, and actually, if we're going to use it, we're probably going to try to hit him right about here. Okay, if we're doing low post screen, because in my head I know what we're doing next. If we don't get a shot there, I know what's going on next. But you can easily say, well, coach, if you go low post screen away and we use it and we fill that spot, why don't we just fill them out here? Absolutely can do that. Absolutely can do that. I like to be consistent. This is where coaches get in trouble. This is where players get on the floor and they forget what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. As coaches aren't always consistent, or and what happens is this is a problem with coaches who run Princeton. They're going to teach this low post screen away, and the first two cuts, the back door and the curl, they're going this way, but when we use it, they're going to go that way, and players will forget. Players won't always get that, okay? So I'd like to say, if we're going to use this screen, let's go and just go this way and fill over here. Okay, then let's get into the next thing. Okay, but that's more advanced. That's more advanced than where we're going today, but I just kind of give you a little bit of hint of where this is going, okay? So now we're low post corner, cut, and screen away. That's all three of the first set of the core four, okay? I went 30 minutes. I went 30 minutes on low post. I was going to try to fly through these. But I'm going a little bit deeper than what I planned on. So, but that's okay. Okay, that's low post. All right. Second option. The second offense is what we call chin. This is not necessarily the order I would teach this, but this is how I'm going to show you today. I would probably go low post, and then when you get into point. And this again goes to the more advanced stuff about Princeton, is how do you get from low post to the next set? How do you go from low post to chin? How do you go from low post to point? How do you go from chin to low post? You know, that's where the magic happens in Princeton. I'm not getting that far because it would take me hours to go through all of that. But we're going to teach chin next. Chin is the most popular set in the Princeton offense. It's the most popular, the most well known. Everyone knows chin. Okay, chin starts out. And this goes, so everyone's asking, you know, I get messages on Facebook and in the comments says, well, hey, coach, you know, what do you talk about when one thing's not open, you go to what do you mean? So a very simple example, without getting complicated and going into all the progressions and all the counters and all the transitions and all the combos, is basically the philosophy of this, is if the three-man's open, we're running low post, throw it down there every single time, no hesitation. All right, but if the three-man is denied, they're denying way out here, I'm not going to come up here and get open and run my offense. Now we're playing into the defense's hand. Okay, but if they're going to deny us way out here, I'm just going to throw the ball over here to this side of the floor. Okay, common sense. I'm not going to fight their strength. Maybe this defender maybe this X2 sitting down there. Just throw it to this guy. Okay? And if you wanted to like low post so much, you could throw it here, run low post. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to do that. But you could do that, and the five-man could just go block to block. We could cut this way, one man fill the point, wing corner on the other side, run low post on that side. I'm going to show you why I don't do that, but you absolutely can and teams do. Okay? And it would depend on my personnel. If I had a stud five at the low post, I would probably swing it around and run low post on the other side, unless it's a special situation. Okay, that's again. It's so hard for me not to teach the next stuff, but I would just try. We'd be here for 4 hours, and I would be here until midnight, and I could certainly go until midnight. So the next step is, if a low post is not open, we're going to call chin. All right, so we can't throw it to the wing. We're not going to pop out here and play in the defensive hand. We're just going to throw it over here. Now, chin starts with a two-pass reversal: guard to guard, guard to forward. Okay, and that is the key. So there are three ways to call chin: verbally, chin, all right, you can do it physically by touching the chin, and the third way is just the pass alone. You don't have to say anything, just the pass, just the guard to guard, guard to forward tells the five-man we're running chin, and the five-man's first look is to come straight up the lane line, and he's going to set a back screen, or we call a shuffle screen, shuffle cut is what we call this, and when he sets it between the foul line and the three-point line, somewhere in that's the sweet spot, okay? Typically on this side, I would like his left foot right on the lane line, so his feet are here and here. Is really where ideally is where I'd like his screen. And his back is straight to the baseline when he's setting that screen, okay? So we got the five-man here, four-man with the ball. Here's your 2, 1, 3. Now, there's different ways that you can do this. I like our point guard to hesitate. So the point guard throws this ball. I don't want him to cut right away. I don't want him getting off of this screen before the four-man gets the ball, and this is why. There are three ways to get open off this shuffle cut. Probably four, but let's just do the first three. There are three looks. One look is early. One look is late. And one look is in the post. Okay? It's the four-man's decision on which one to throw. Okay? Five-man is setting a screen here. All right? Now the four-man, as soon as he catches it, he's looking at that one-man defender. All right? If that one-man defender gets pinned right here and gets screened and gets hammered, that's his first look. And that shows that, hey, we're going to look early. We're going to look at this defender early. Okay? We're also going to look at the X5, the five-man defender, early. All right, if both of these if this player gets screened, this player is playing high, the point guard is going to get open on this side of the basket, and that's why we look early. Okay. If this defender skinnies through and is chasing, we're not going to be open early because he's going to be right on our tail. He can get up and get a piece of that. But now we're going to break away from him here, and now we're going to get open late. All right, if this defender can squeeze through there and starts chasing us, he does a good job of getting on our hip, now we're going to be more open on the late side. Okay. Or if this defender jumped over the top but didn't get through, maybe these two ran into each other, we're going to be open late more so than early. Okay. The third way is in the post. Now, a good defender, as soon as the ball is passed here to here, what's a good defender do? They're going to jump to the ball, and they don't get screened. Okay, now a good defender here, when they set a back screen, good defender is going to drop a little bit. That's going to take away early and late as this defender shoots through. Okay, and this is what happens. So the one man's cutting through, and this defender is sprinting to take them away. So we're going to take them down, and then we're going to, that little swim move, we're going to come here, and then we're just going to swim over top of them into the low post. All right, and we teach our guards to post up when we run Princeton because we want all five players to be threats on the floor. All five players to be threats on the floor. So we are going to teach our guards to go in the low post. If our point guard's 5'10", and their point guard and their defender is 5'8", advantage us. Throw it in there, okay? 5'10" on 5'8", I like that in the low post. I like those odds, okay? So the first look is early, second look is late, third look is in the post, okay? If one man is still not open in the post, the next action is this. The five-man is going to follow this arc. He's going to follow the top. He's going to follow the key is what we'll tell him. And then, again, on the other side of the floor, he's going to stop lane line extended, and he is going to set another screen. But now his shoulders are pointing towards the corner of the gym, the corner of the floor. Okay, and we call this a drift. So as soon as the two-man got rid of the ball here, he's going to start creeping down. She's going to start creeping down, and they're going to get their left foot on the outside planted, and then they're going to be waiting on the screen. The two-man is going to get there first. Five-man sets the shuffle. Two-man is getting down there almost the same time, maybe a little bit early. The two-man takes his man down, and boom, now we're going to what we call a drift. We call it a drift and not a flare because of this. I want this, remember, this defender is chasing me. Okay? Now, here's the top of this defender's hands right there. All right? If we cut back in this way that I like, the screener is actually getting a piece of him here, and I can throw this pass, and that guy coming off the drift can actually square up and then step into the shot. Okay? If they come off this and flare like this action, now I'm throwing the ball like this, and this guy can get a hand on it. Or the X5. Maybe the X5 is playing tight. Maybe the X5 can get a hand on it. Okay? And if they steal this one, they're getting layups. Okay, so it's very important that we get off the drift and we come up. We try to pin our guy down, we come up. Plus, if I catch the ball here versus here, when I catch it here, I've got all of this side of the floor to work. If I catch it here, now I only have this much of the floor to work. Okay, you guys understand that? That's a big advantage, is just getting in the right spots. A little piece of detail, catch the ball here and not here, and then you got to have more room on this side of the floor to work as well. Okay. So we got the shuffle, and we got the drift. Okay, there are 5 scoring options, maybe 6 off of the drift that we focus on. So now we got the two-man here with the ball. Here's your 5. Here's your 3. Here's Here's your 4. Here's your 1s filled out to the corner. Now the two-man's got the ball, and look at all of this room over here. All right, that's where we're going to play. We're going to play in that area now, okay? And where's all the defenders? X4, X1, because the ball was with the 4. X4, X1, X5. Okay, X2 is chasing. All right, X3. All right, so now the two-man's going to catch the ball off the drift, and boom, now we're going this way. And he's really only looking at 1 and 2 defenders. He's looking at the X5 getting down, and he's looking at the X3, and then how his guys guarding him. Okay, so once we're off the drift, okay, our first look is a shot. First look to score, and then we love getting off the drift and chin. This is one of the multiple ways that you're going to be able to score in the Princeton. That's what we love, chin. We always have chin. If you have guards that can play, first look's a shot. Okay, he's got a shot, shoot it, or he can take 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, pull up for a shot. Okay, two-man looking for his own shot is the first look. All right, second one is we're going to drive and score. We're going to drive all the way to the basket and score. If this X3 is cheating over, maybe this kid's a good shooter, and this lane opens up, two-man's good ball player, get all the way in there and score. And we'll teach them two ways to drive. One, put their head down and go. The second way is they're going to get here real hard, and what a good defender do? The good defender is going to jab, and when they jab, we're going to hezzy. Okay, when they see us hezzy, they're thinking, oh, now he's going to pass the ball, so I better get back, and now we're going to drive again. Okay, so we drive hard, we hezzy, they hedge and help, we hezzy, they recover, we blow by them. Okay, so the first look's a shot, second look is a drive. Okay, third look is we're going to drive, and what's going to happen now is we teach the three-man this. We want the three-man, as this drive is happening, is to start creeping to the corner, and when we commit to the drive and this defender commits, we're going to sprint to the corner. Okay, our third look is going to be a drive and kick. Okay, drive and kick. So we're going to drive it here, and we're going to kick it to the corner for a shot. X3 came down here to stop me, so now I got an angle to pass. Now we're going to kick it to the corner. Okay, all right, so that's our third look. Now what also happens here is as we're getting down in here, if this is a good defender, maybe the X2 cuts us off, and now I don't have this angle to throw that pass. Our three-man's now going to start to creep back up. And now I'm going to kick it this way. Okay, so you got to drive and kick that way. Okay, so you got drive and kick to the corner, or if this, depending on how well they guard you, now we don't have him in the corner, so he's going to start creeping back up. Now when we throw this one, I'm going to come back to this. Drive and kick, this is important, because once I kick it here, two-man's going to keep filling, and now when this X2 is chasing me, now I've opened up this entire gap for this three-man if he doesn't have a shot here to drive here and play. Depends on how fast the X5, the X1, the X4 get over there, whether or not he can get a layup. Maybe he can get in here, his man cuts him off, make a spin move, and go score. Okay, and that's stuff that we actually work on in our skill work stuff, okay? So that's drive and kick. Our next look, and let's say X3, maybe this kid's a stud, okay, and they're saying, maybe they're playing him, hey, deny him the ball, don't let 3 catch the ball. The next one is going to be a dribble at, back cut. So now we're just going to try, I'm not going to dribble straight at the defender. Everyone you hear say, dribble at, back cut, Princeton, okay, yeah, you're right. But I don't want to dribble this way and then make this, I want to get in here, I want to attack, I want to try to get in here. Make this defender either get below the defender, okay, boom, we're going back door, or make this defender commit to me in this gap, and boom, go back door, and we got it. Dribble at, back cut, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fifth main way that we score on here is a give and go. All right, is a give and go. X3 is playing real deep. Boom, I'm just going to kick it here. X2 is chasing me off the drift. I've got a shot. Boom, now we close out. Boom, now I pinch my defender with the 5-man, and we got him back. So the fifth way is a give and go. Okay? Now, if you can't score off of that, I wasn't really going to show you this, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. So if you can't score off of all that, I'm actually going to show you. This is the big key, big secret. I was going to save this for later, another training, but I'm going to show you to it anyway. So let's say I said I'd come back to this driving kick. So let's say that we drove, 3-man went here, 3-man came back, and we kicked it to 3, and we kept filling. 3-man didn't have a shot. They drove, and they didn't have anything. If you ever get to a spot where you don't have anything in the Princeton offense, this is what you do, is you back dribble. Okay, when you back dribble, it tells everyone else to fill the spots. Okay, so your 2-man's out of here, 2-man's in the corner. All right, 3-man is now back dribbled here. 2-man, fill. 4-man, fill. 1-man, fill. 5-man, follow the ball. Okay, then now we can reset. That is a huge secret about the Princeton offense that not a lot of coaches know about. Okay, anytime that there's hey, we're in trouble, somebody messed up, hey, back dribble, now we can throw it here and run low post, now we can throw it here and run chin. Okay, you guys got it? You guys like that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave me some comments so I know where your head's at. What do you guys think about this, okay? Let me know if you guys have any questions. What are your biggest Princeton questions? What are your biggest questions about the Princeton offense? Back when I learned this, I started learning this in like 19 years ago, like 2001 is when I started learning the Princeton offense. This is when I was introduced to it. We got a couple videotapes, and we got a couple diagrams of some of their sets. What we didn't get was how to go from one set to the other. So the way that we ran the Princeton when we first started is we just ran a point, or we just ran one of the sets. We just ran low post. Or we ran point, for example, but we didn't run point all the way through. We just ran it so that we could get off of a ball screen, or we just ran it so we could post a player up. And then we stopped running the set, and we just played. Okay? You had to have a guy on the inside. We actually had a guy on the inside, and he was able to give us a couple of those secrets. So each year we kept learning more and more about it, and then we could commit to getting more and more in detail about how much are we going to run, what are we going to do, what's best for our personnel. And when I became head coach, I went all in. I went all in. So we're going to run this just like the best teams in college do, and we did. We did a really, really good job of running it, and we really committed to it. So if you want to commit to it, you can commit to it. If you want to take, bits and pieces, you can take bits and pieces. All right. So we got low post, we got chin. The last one, the next one I would teach would be point. I'll put that right next to chin here. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay, and once you run point, so just as an example, 3-man's not open, so we're not going to run low post. All right. Now let's say 2-man's not open, so now you're not going to run chin either. All right. So for example, so this is very very generic. Because you can run low post, you can run chin, you can run point, even if the defense is letting all 3 open, you can still run all 3. Okay, you can choose to run them, or you can run them as like a counter to what the defense is doing. But let's just say, for example, both of these are being denied, and this is where I got some more advanced training that there's a lot of exciting stuff happens when your players start getting denied. Okay. But what we do is we're running. I've got to hurry because I don't want to be here for 3 hours. So what we'll do is we'll run point. This guy's not open. This guy's open. The 1-man's going to say, "Hey, let's run point." Okay. And another thing, while you guys are watching this, usually I'm calling these plays back here before we get to half court. We start our offense way back here. Just so you guys know, before we get to half court, that's when we start our offense. This is just the way we've got these things drawn up. Okay. So we wave our 2-man through. And they're going to go through the middle of the paint to the opposite corner. Okay. Now what happens is we got a 5-man here, and we're going to get the 5-man open. That's what we're doing. 5-man. I tell my 5-man to throw his hands up, take one step back, to get this defender down here in this guy's path, because the 5-man is going to curl up, all right, between foul line extended and 3-point line. That's the sweet spot. All right, and this 2-man is going to run right into that defender, going to headhunt, chop, 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 and we'll break away last second. Just to slow that defender down, that gets the 5-man open. Okay? Now, this is big because we got this 4-man here, X4 right here, and now we got the 5. So what happens is this 4-man likes to cherry pick a lot, so we send our 4-man to the corner. Okay? You guys got that? So this is what this is. Now, one man, in the meantime, he's taking his man away, and now he's coming back. All right, and we call this point. Where do you think the one man's trying to get? We did the same thing in low post, trying to get 2 to 3 feet off the lane in that sweet spot. We want to get right here or a little bit even before that when we make the next decision, okay? So I've got the one man at the point. I got the 5 man. I got the 4. I got the 3. And I got the 2 men who cut through. All right, we throw the ball to the 5. Okay, you guys see that? 5 man's got the ball. Now the 1 man has 3 options and point. Okay, 3 options. We can go point, screen, away. That's the one that I teach first. Okay, point over the top. That's the one I teach second, where they can go point down the middle. That's the one that I would teach third, or I would probably teach like halfway through the year. We don't teach all of these all at once because there is a lot. Okay, but there also isn't a lot, and I'll explain that as we kind of get to point, screen, away. Okay, you guys got that? So there's 3 options here. I don't think I'm going to teach these all the way through because it's gonna get really, really involved. Okay, but what you need to know basically is there are 3 ways. Now here's perfect. We're going to screen away. So this is point, screen, away. So we got screen away, we got screen over, and we got down the middle. Those are the 3 options out of point. Here's another example of this screen. Like we did this in low post, screen away. We're not going to set our man up and come off of this screen because we take away the back door. We actually even take away the curl a little bit. Okay, now we're coming here hard, and now we got to stop and go back and curl. Okay, we don't do that. We don't believe in that. We don't do it. Here's X3 down here. He may be below the screen. I'm going to walk straight up to the screen. But what's happening is I get close to the screen, my defenders get closer to me. And if I can juke him high and he tries to shoot through, boom, I'm going back door. Okay? If I can juke him low and I start to use it, but he gets on my hip, boom, I'm going to curl. Okay? If I'm walking in here and I juke him low and they go this way like they're going to go on the screen, boom, I'll just use the screen. Okay, so there's 3 ways you can use any screen. You can backdoor, you can curl, and you can use it. And we teach all of those 3 in that order, okay? I'll just show you real quick. The 1 man's going to screen. Our first action is backdoor. Boom, we're going backdoor. Okay, and we want to empty out the side of the floor. We're going to backdoor. This player's going to pop up a screen, reverse pivot, the same way we did in low post, screen away. We're going to down screen on the opposite side, and the 5 man's going to set a ball screen. Okay? Or I'm sorry, 5 man's going to throw it here and set a ball screen. Okay? All right, you guys got it? And then once the 1 man has the ball, 5 man setting the ball screen, I've got the 3, I've got the 4. 3's coming off of this one. Same time, 1 man is coming off of this one. And we look to hit the 3. All right, the 5 man is going to turn around and set a drift screen. Our 2 man has now filled up by this point. Okay, once our 1 throws it to the 3, this is where the light bulbs are going to go off. This is where the light bulb. This is where the light bulbs are going to go off. So watch this. 3 man's got the ball. All right, here's your 4. Now your 4 man. If you have an advantage here, we'll down screen and then we'll turn and we'll post up our 4. All right, so you can throw it down there if you got an advantage. Okay, but now our 5 man is going to set a drift screen, just like. What's that look like? It's chin, right? So here's our 1. Our 1 threw it. Our 1 is going to take a couple more steps, and boom, they're going to pop back up and drift. And here's our 2, and now here's all of our chin drift options. All right, you got the drive, you got shot, drive and kick, dribble, back cut, and the give and go. Okay, now we're back off the drift. So this is where coaches think Princeton's confusing, and there's so much to it, Coach. I don't spend all the time teaching it. Once you teach chin, when you do point, screen, away, you just have to teach, hey, how to throw it to the 5, how to screen, go back door, ball screen, down screen, easy. And now a drift screen, they're like, oh, Coach, I get it. I get it. That's the same thing as chin. Once we get through point away, the first couple cuts, now we're in chin. I get it. Okay, your kids, the lights just kind of go up in their head, and they just get it. Okay, this is kind of when they really start buying into, because they like the movement. You show them the movement. You show them how they're going to score, and then you put them in position to score. Your kids are good. This is where they really start to buy in, is once they see this. Okay? All right. I am not going to go into detail into point over and point down the middle because we would be here for another hour. It would really. I spent a half hour on low post, and I could spend 3 hours. Spend an hour and a half on each low post screen away, over the top, down the middle each. So I'm not going to do that, but you guys understand how we go. You have low post. You have, if that one's not open, you got chin. If neither are open, you've got point. So in theory, no matter what the defense does, they can't stop you from running an offensive play. Right? That's the goal of Princeton. It takes the tension out of the game. If we're not open on the wing, we're not going to try to get open on the wing. We're not going to fight their strength. Okay? All right? The fourth core set is open. All right? It's open. And we call open. Princeton teams, Princeton, Air Force, Richmond, Northwestern, back when Carmody was at Northwestern running Princeton, they call it 1-2-2. I don't call it 1-2-2 because it's too many syllables for me. I like to shorten the syllables as much as possible. So when we're running point, I'll say screen away, or you can say point away, or point over, or point under. Okay, we've done that too. But I call this open, and basically what open is, I'm not going to show you how we get into open because that's a combo. That's going to be a lot more training, but I'm going to show you what open is. Typically, it's a 5-man with the ball at the top of the key, at the point. Okay, when the 5-man has the ball at the point, we're not running point, we're running open. Okay, and now we've got here, we've got here, we've got here, we've got here. Okay, and we can run open. We'll call this open space, open in space, because we're spaced out. There's actually 2 ways we'll run open. Okay, the other way we'll run it is the 5-man here, and then everyone is above almost 3-point line extended. So we'll have the 4 up here, we'll have the 3 here, the 1, and the 2. Everyone's at least above foul line extended here. Okay, sometimes I've seen one team get aggressive and they get everyone. They bring that one guy up here and they don't get that aggressive, but they're in between this one and this one, that last guy. But these 2 guys are for sure above 3-point line extended, and this is what happens here. All right, let's bring these guys over. Where's your defense at? Okay, and it depends on how well scouting report. Okay, how well is the other team fundamentally on defense? Good team. They're going to kind of be right there. But what do you see? No help side. No help side in open. Some teams will come here like this. Okay, can this kid get to the bats? Can this kid make a move one-on-one and then get around that guy and get to the rim? Okay. Now when you're down here, it's pretty much the same, except it's going to be a little tighter right here. Okay, and then these guys are probably going to be somewhere in this vicinity. Okay. All right, now you've got that defense that was down here. Those defenders that were here. Way down here. Now you got those defenders way up here next to the foul line. Okay, so let me take you through a couple actions. This is what we do when we get into open. All right, when we get into open, it's going to be a dribble at that defender or this defender. And we tell our 5-man, get to the elbow. It's going to be the same no matter if you're here or here. Just more philosophy, kind of, your personnel, what you like. If this kid's a great passer, I really like this up here. Not as good passer, I kind of like this down here. A little more space for him to move. A little less pressure, the 5-man, less defenders on him. There's a lot of defenders on the 5. Less pressure on the 5. Okay, so depends on your personnel. 2 options, and we're going to do this the same way we do low post screen away, point screen away. We are going to walk straight into this screen or this ball, and boom, we're going to go back door. Okay, or we're going to get a handoff, and it depends on this defender. If I juke him and he goes low, boom, I'm coming here. I'm going to get a handoff and a ball screen. Okay, if I come here and I juke him high. If this defender shoots high, boom, I'm going back door, and guess what? All I have to do is get on top of that player, and then, boom, there's no one there. I got a layup. Okay, and that's the beauty of open. That's the beauty of running open. Okay? If we come, now, the next steps, again, get into a lot of, there's a lot of different ways you can do open. There's a lot of different ways you can go back door, you can go open, and you can do different things no matter which you run. You can go back door and you can turn and post up. You can go back door and run through. You can go back door and you can turn around, set of UCLA screens. There's so many variations of what you can run open. I'm not going to get into all of them, But basically, I wanted to show you that the two main ways that they'll score. Now, if we dribble out here and the four-man goes back door and they don't get it, guess why they didn't get it? Because that X2 probably helped, and now who's getting open? All right, the two-man. So we'll throw it here to the two-man. Now, typically what I'll do is after we throw this, again, five-man could come over here and screen away. Five-man could cut, or the five-man can come over and set a ball screen. Those are the three. They can go left, they can go right, they can go forward. Okay? And then get a ball screen and you can play. Okay? You can kind of decide from there. That's the fourth core set. Okay? And again, there's so many different ways to run through it. And if I did, we'd be here another hour or two just going through it because there is so much to it. But once you decide, say if there's four different ways to run open on a backdoor cut, all you're going to do is choose one way. All right, then you're going to run it that way, and you're going to match that way up to your personnel. If you run ball screen and roll, that means you've got good ball handlers. If you don't have good ball handlers, you might want this five-man to go screen away and curl and backdoor and pop back up and do something a little different. If this two-man is not a good ball handler, if this two-man can't drive and score, okay. And the big secret is you need skilled players. So what this offense does is there's an option for everything. If this guy's denied, he goes back door. If this guy's playing low, he comes high. Okay, they can't stop everything. And that's the beauty of the Princeton offense. Okay? If you guys have any questions or anything at all, let me know in the comments. Leave some comments. Let me know what your biggest questions are about anything that we've done here. Low post, chin, point, and open. Those are the four. Those are the four core sets of the Princeton offense. Okay, you guys like that? So, pretty much what I want to do now. Okay, I've got one more thing for you. You guys are still hanging around. If you hang out to the end, I've got. I should have showed you this at the beginning, and I'll make a note. But I've got a couple of things that I want to give away. If you guys are still here, I'll post this in the. I'll post this in the comments at the end. But I have a really nice scouting report that I used when I played, or when I coached, and I actually made it a little bit nicer than that even. But you look at that. This is the practice plan that I used. If you guys would like a copy of this, just hang out towards the end. Okay? All right, you get your offense, you get your out-of-bounds plays, you get your press offense, you got sideline out-of-bounds. You just got your half-court offense. A lot of courts, you got your we talk about tendencies, what we want to see from the defensive side. If you guys would like a copy of this, hang out here till I'm going to go. I get about 30 more minutes, 20 to 30 more minutes. If you hang out towards the end, I'll get you a copy of this scouting report. Okay, you got guys popping in and out, so I'll get you a copy of this scouting report in a PDF form so you can handwrite on it. Okay, and I really love this. I love this detail stuff. I love it. We do a shot chart. It doesn't have to be big half-court shot charts, but I can take all of this and I staple all of this together, and I know where it's at. And when I'm watching the game, I just flip through and write. When I got breaks, I can do personnel stuff. But I also have a blank practice plan form, if you guys would like that. Okay, hang out towards the end, and I'll shoot that off to you as well. Okay, I should have said something at the very beginning because we had a couple more guys on here, a couple more coaches. But if you hang out with me for about 25 more minutes, I'll give you a link to these at the end of this. Okay, but what I want to do, so there is a lot. There's a lot in the Princeton offense. Okay, there's so much going on in the Princeton offense. And if you really want to run it, again, you have to have that guy on the inside that can one that can give you all the sets, give you all the plays, and then help you choose which one's right for your personnel, so that you don't have to spend years and traveling across the country and all of that. So if you guys have got like 20, 25 more minutes, I want you to watch this. Let's see, hit the right button here, Coach. There you go. So, there we go. So, what happens is I've spent almost 20 years. It was almost 20 years ago when I was first introduced to the Princeton offense. Just coaching it, studying it, running it. I've become one of those guys that are one of those inside guys. And if you didn't know, back when I was learning it, if you were trying to learn this in the 90s, back when Pete Carrill was still coaching at Princeton and Joe Scott was still an assistant and Chris Mooney was playing for him and an assistant, and John Thompson, JT3 was still an assistant coach, and Bill Carmody was still an assistant coach, all at Princeton. there was nowhere to learn this stuff. If you could go there and you could call them up, they would give you nothing. Right? They might let you in practice, but they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to give you anything on paper. They're not going to give you any game tape. Okay, they're not going to give you anything. Okay, but as time kind of went on, a couple coaches finally started to pick some of the stuff up and learn it. And there are about 4 or 5 inside guys. Okay, Pete Carroll's the top guy. Then you had Joe Scott, John Thompson III, Bill Carmody. If you want to do a tree, you got Pete Carroll, Bill Carmody, Joe Scott, John Thompson III, Chris Mooney, probably all 3 on that level. Okay, those are the best Princeton coaches there are out there. There's a lot of good ones, but those were the core guys. And then you started to have a couple more branching out, a couple more starting to figure some stuff out, really studying, really breaking it down for some. And some people would start helping other coaches. Some coaches would learn this and say, hey, we'll give you all the tape you want, go study your ass off like I did, and then come back and I'll fill in the holes for you. But you got to show me that you did the work. Okay? Now, I've been out of coaching. My wife and I had a kid. We've been out of coaching here for about 3 or 4 years. So I kind of said, well, I'm not as competitive as, because I was that guy. I would have playbooks. I wouldn't give my assistant coaches the playbook. Okay? I would not give my assistant coaches the playbook at all. And that's how secretive I was about it. But anyway, full disclosure, if you want to take this to another level, if you want to go to another level with the Princeton offense, quick disclaimer, the offense alone is not going to it's not going to win you all of the games. I mean, you have to have a comprehensive plan defensively. You have to hammer your kids with skill work. You have to be that guy that's in the gym with them, working on their game. You got to have gym rats and anything. If you're going to run this offense, you got to have guys that want to kill themselves to get better. Okay. So this is my offensive strategy. That the Princeton offense, it's the strategy that levels the playing field for underdogs. And if you don't have the better athletes, if you don't have the more physical players or the faster players or the longer players, okay, you need to have a strategy to play against those teams. Okay, and the big question is this: how in the world are we going to beat those teams that are just bigger, faster, just more talented, just more physically gifted? Okay, now with this Princeton offense, I really like this. With great powers, they say, comes great responsibility. Well, everything you learn here, you don't have to just use it. Okay, use these great powers to your advantage. Okay, you don't have to dial it back because you might, because you want to take it easy on someone. You don't have to do that at all. Completely different situation. Jim Burson, Jim Burson is his coach at a small Division III college here in Ohio. When he first started into coaching, he wanted to get up and down, run up and down the floor because his players loved playing fast, loved playing up and down the floor, and that's what they would do. But what happened was once he started playing these schools from Columbus, these bigger city schools, he tends to coach. My top 4 or 5 guys were as good as anyone's. But once we got down into our bench, it's like that's when they just could pull away. We couldn't compete anymore. So they stopped playing that run up and down fast and try to fight against other teams' strengths, and they started putting in the Princeton, and then they started winning at a high clip, okay, and became very successful. Okay, so anytime you run the Princeton, you have to take your players. You have to really develop their skill levels. You have to have the right strategy. And if you're just athletic enough, an offense with skilled players who all dribble, pass, and shoot, play a team game with an advanced strategy. This is where this. You have a quote down here where the smart take from the strong. Another good example is Herb Sendek at NC State was getting beat against Duke, UNC. His job was on the line. Him and assistant coach took the Princeton offense. They started winning. They started getting really competitive. He ended up getting a bigger job. I think he went to Arizona next. Okay, but once he switched to Princeton offense, it saved his job. Okay, he started developing players, recruiting players that were more skilled, but were still super athletic. And funny story, actually, Coach Carmody, all these guys were up. All these old Princeton guys were up watching this game, and they're looking at each other like, they're running it. They're really running it. And look at the players they have. And they're just like, it's like, this is amazing. And, they're kind of like, really proud there for a second, but like, oh no, it's like, this team's got these athletes and they're running the offense as well as we do, or better. And NC State was the first team that did that, and then they started winning, started competing in the ACC, and then Herb Sendek, I think he went to Arizona, or Arizona State. I think he went to Arizona after that. So the big 3 secrets to running the Princeton offense and competing against these teams that they're, if you look at the schedule and their losses, these are the big 3 secrets to compete with those teams. Is one, you got to run the Princeton offense. You can use it to compete, and how to use it to compete with anyone on your schedule. So you take the offense that we just talked about, and you pick your core sets, and you take more than what I've shown you here, and you put it all together. And this is what allows you to compete against the bigger, faster, stronger teams that you're going to play out there. The second secret to beating these bigger, faster, stronger teams is you need to learn about the Princeton Offense. Is not only once you know the sets, but you need to know how to break it down in practice. Because if you just have the playbook, if you just have the sets, and you don't know how to break it down and practice the right way, you're going to spend an hour and a half a day running your offense. So a lot of coaches, I remember when I was moving from one job to another, say, Coach, Coach, you can come coach with me, but we're not running the Princeton Offense. That stuff takes too long. But they didn't know what I knew about how to put it in. We spend 30 to 35 minutes a day in our offensive segment of practice running Princeton. Okay, now there's more to that, and we'll get to that later. But you don't have to spend 3-4 an hour and a half a day just running offense. And that's a big myth about the Princeton Offense. Okay, the third secret, now everyone can see that. Third secret, is it's how to increase your player skill. So you have to have gym rats. You have to have highly skilled players, no matter what you're going to do. But if you have highly skilled players and just a set play offense, and you have one or two studs, which most of us will have one or two good players, but if you're playing against a team more athletic, they're going to take those two guys away, and then they're going to pummel you. Once they take your two best players away, your other three can't compete at all with the other three, just trying to get open on the wing and doing all of that stuff. And that's when those teams just pummel you. But if you are really dedicated, if you're going to run Princeton or any offense, you got to be dedicated to the skill. You got to be dedicated to your gym rats. You got to make them better shooters, make them better dribblers, make them better passers, and you got to get them in the gym. You got to work on them. But what I'm going to show you how to do is how to increase your players' skill level. In practice, that'll give them the advantage of not only confidence but certainty over their opponents. I used to be, but I'm not a big confidence guy anymore. Confidence is one thing that comes where everyone says, well, you can be confident, but if you're certain, confidence comes from certainty. All right, and how do you get certainty? And I'm going to tell you, it's all about repetition. It's all about repetition. Repetition is the mother of all skill, whether it's individual or whether it is as a team. So that's the third secret. So going through this real quick, secret number one, how to run the Princeton and use to compete with anyone on your schedule. Okay, the smart take from the strong. You're going against someone bigger, faster, stronger. You got to play smarter. Okay, you have to have tough kids. You have to have skillful kids, but you don't have to have faster, taller, all right, or longer or stronger, more physical players. You don't have to have them. If you have a system, if you have a smarter way to play, and you have guys that want to play together, okay? All right, again, we talked about this, shrouded in secrecy. And again, it's for forever. No one has really broken down the offense the way that everyone can understand it, okay? Today, I'm unlocking all of that. So I've just shown you the core four. It goes so much. I spent an hour teaching. Okay, and wow, I can't wait to show you guys this because there's just so much more to it. And I've got it all here right here for you. So my total investment in this is 15 and 18 years actually studying this. I've traveled. I watched. I don't have it with me. I've got one DVD in here, but I have got a book. And you might have seen this picture somewhere on Facebook. But I've got over 60 games. Just in DVD, just in one pack. I actually have a second pack somewhere, but I wanted to have that and show you, and I forgot it's upstairs. But I've got 60 DVDs of films, 60 games from over the last 10, 15 years that I have watched every single one of them at least twice. Some of them I've watched about 7 or 8 times, just over and over and over. And I break it down. I watch one pass, and I pause it. I watch one cut, and I pause it. I write it down. I watch the next one, and then the screen. Then I go back in and watch it again. I saw a guy make a hand movement. Then I go write that note down. Over and over and over again. I've traveled across the country. I've been to the Air Force Academy for about a week watching them practice and watched them firsthand. I've been down to Richmond. I've been down to Muskingum. I've traveled the country to watch it. And my investment, there's a lot of time in that. There's a lot of dollars in that. Traveling, air flights across the country, hotels, food. I've spent thousands of dollars on my own. And I love doing that. And I would encourage you to do that if you have those resources. I didn't necessarily have those resources. I ended up taking me probably a few years to pay them off in debt, but that's what I wanted to do. So I studied from Princeton, Air Force, Princeton. All the Princeton coaches, they still run Air Force Academy. They've gone through coaches. They still run it. Northwestern when Bill Carmody was there. Denver when Joe Scott was there. Muskingum, Coach Carmody, Richmond are running it very well, having a very good season this year with with Chris Mooney. These are all the programs that I really study it from. Now, the first thing that you need, right, you need a playbook. You need to know all of the sets. You can't run Princeton if you don't. You can pick and choose sets, but if you don't know all of the sets, it's hard to match it up with your personnel. Okay, it's really hard to match it up with your personnel. And what you're seeing right now, the diagrams, the way that this is drawn out, this is how my playbook looks. And right now it's sitting at about 38, 42 pages, somewhere around there. I actually keep adding to it. Started out at 30, and now it's around 35, about 37, 38, 40 pages. And everything's broken down like so. You can see this is obviously chin, guard to guard, guard to forward. Just come off the shuffle. We look early, late, and in the post. I actually break it down a little bit more detailed in the playbook. And this is actually a point look. So we wave the guard through, we make a move, we come over here, and we're running point. So but how would you like to have the entire playbook broken down, that's so-called too complicated, broken down just like this? Set by set, pass by pass, cut by cut. Okay? And I might show you a little bit of that if I can, but I'm being sincere. That's how I break it down. The second secret is, okay, so now you know the offense. Now you have the playbook, but how do you break it down in practice? How do you actually teach it? How do you actually break it down? Well, the thing about what Prince says is it's just for those smart players, just for those smart guys. This is what people thought in the 90s. It's like, well, it's Princeton. Princeton's running it. Okay, Air Force, Northwestern, they're high caliber, high academic schools. Those are the guys that are running this. You have to have those players. Only those smart players can learn that. Total myth. Okay, it's a total myth. All you need to know is how to break down the sets. And then you need to know the combinations. How do you get from one set to the next, and why do you get from one set to the next, and when do you get from one set to the next? Once you know that, and once you know, most importantly, even how to organize your practice, so you're going from one progression to the next, to the next, to the next. You're not jumping around everywhere. A lot of coaches they'll teach something, but they won't teach the next thing. And then in practice, this is what drives me crazy. Now kids are just running all over the place, just making crap up. And it drives me crazy. So you have to have an organized way to set all that up in practice. Okay. And again, the repetition is the mother of all skill. If you don't learn this, you'll spend an hour and a half in practice working on offense. Okay, and you won't be able to get through everything. Okay, and once you know this, you can do that much in practice in 35 minutes. Okay, I'm going to show you all of this. I'm going to show you both. Okay, how to do both of those. All right, third secret is how to increase your players' skill to give them the advantage of certainty over their opponents. Okay. Most important thing. So you look at me, but coach, my players. Look at my players. This is what I've got. Well, coach them, coach. I mean, I love that. Coach them, coach. That's what you're supposed to do. Right, if you don't have players, you got to get down and you got to teach them the skill work. So I'm going to actually show you how to increase your players' skills that's specific to this offense. Okay, and what turns out that what's specific to this offense is how basketball, in a true sense, should be played. This is all the skill. This isn't just like cut and dry. I mean, we get fancy with our moves and our skill work with our crossovers, and there's a reason to run every single skill. But we're gonna really break it down and tailor to this offense. Okay, and it translates to everything else basketball, and we get pretty deep in it. But it actually simplifies the game for your less talented players. They don't have to be able to. Your ball handlers, you can have poor ball handlers and still run this offense. Okay, but your poor ball handler is not going to get stuck in a situation where they got to dribble around and a guy chase them to try to get someone else open. They're not going to have to do that in this offense. Okay. So with our repetition focus strategy, your players are going to be conditioned to be able to read any situation, make the correct play, read the defense, make the next progression, and they're going to have the skill needed to execute that play or execute that set. So strategically, the counters, wrinkles, misdirections are all designed into the Princeton. It just adds another dimension to always keep the defense off balance. The defense, in theory, you can never get stuck unless you dribble it off your foot or make a bad pass or fumble a pass. Okay, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be a next thing, right? And not all offenses have that. That's why when I say one of the big problems is you're running the wrong offense if you're trying to compete with these other teams, it's because if your offense isn't designed. If it doesn't have something next to do, if they take away one thing, or if they take away two things, or if they take away that third, if you don't have another option except throw it to the point guard, dribble back, look at the coach, get a play, then come back and run that play, okay, you're in trouble against those teams, okay? So many teams have turned the Princeton offense. They just couldn't compete with those more talented teams, and they get rewarded for it. NC State, Muskingum, two examples. So I know that's a lot. I know we went over that real fast. Everything that I taught right there, I've actually taught in over 4 or 5 hours of actual teaching. So I've crammed 4 or 5 hours into an hour, so we didn't get through everything. I know it's overwhelming. I know I've gone through these slides really fast. I know I'm talking really fast because I don't want you to be here for 2 hours. But I have a question for you. If you guys stick around for a few more minutes, if I could show you how to implement the Princeton offense, beginning to end. I'm going to give you the playbook. I'm going to give you everything that's going to break it down so that it'll give you certainty that if you want to run the Princeton, that it could do the same thing for your team that what it did for some of these other teams. If you really want to run the Princeton, is this something that you guys would be interested in seeing? Okay, is this something that you would really be interested in taking a look at? Because if you're already running the Princeton, if I could be a resource, because everyone's takes it from different ways. If you're already running the Princeton, been around for a couple years or 10 years, and you want to have someone else to bounce it off from you, bounce off new ideas, would that be something worth considering? Would that be something you want to look at? So what I've done is I've got 2 packages. The first package, pretty much it's the playbook package, okay? I want to take you through a few minutes and just show you this. This is a more advanced training. If you want to go deeper than this, deeper than the core 4, if you don't want to spend all the time traveling and looking up YouTube and watch the YouTube guys tell you, they're good at telling you what they're doing, but they're not good at telling you why. They're not good at telling you how they got there. That's kind of one of my pet peeves when I watch other coaches who didn't really run Princeton try to explain it when they're watching NBA teams break it down. Well, this is this. Okay, yeah, it is, but why are they doing that? And that's the stuff that you don't get, okay? But I want to show you this, if it's okay with you. Let's go ahead and skip that. Here we go. So, let's see. Did I get stuck on another page? Okay, my computer's freezing up. It's freezing up. There we go. Okay. There you go. So here we go. Package number 1, okay? The first thing that I've got in this program, this is more advanced training, more advanced program, is the playbook. This is the Princeton Secret Playbook. It's got all of the sets, all of the combos, all of the keys that get you from one set to the next. Okay, it's taken me more 15 years, road trips, flight trips across the country to put all this together, years of actually in practice putting this together, having our team run it, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, fixing it, and all of the sets and all the combos that we run are in this playbook. This isn't just a generic, core 4 playbook. This is everything. This has got everything that a lot of stuff that we haven't gone over. This has got all the, if that's not open, if you're within low post, and the low post isn't open, what do? We didn't talk about today. We do in this playbook, okay? So when you have the playbook, and again, it's 35, 42-page playbook right now, and it's growing. But you have the playbook, so the next problem, again, is, how do you break it down? So I actually have gotten, how do we break down each one of these sets in practice, in a practice situation? How do we actually break it down so we're just not running the offense 5-1-0, 5-1-5, but how do we break it down so we can work on this action or that action? We believe really, I used to start doing this stuff 3-on-0, 2-on-0, 2-on-0, 2-on-2, 3-on-0, 3-on-3. I stopped doing that because of our players couldn't recognize where the other defenders are, but we found a way. How do we do it? 5-on-0, 4-on-0, 5-on-0 in most situations, how we can actually rep the offense and more than one guy is involved in the action so that we can rep a whole lot of things, and you can do it in a strategic way to where you can actually break this offensive session down to about 30, 35 minutes in practice instead of trying to put it all in an hour and a half and using that last half hour for defense and prep and all of that stuff. So the second thing you need to have the offensive breakdowns, and I've got all that broken down for you. Okay, so where do you actually? So once you have the playbook, all the sets, you know how to break it down. But what do you actually? What set do you teach first? What offense? What set do you teach first? How do you teach a progression to the next one first, or do you just teach the next set first? Because there's a lot of questions in that. So what I've actually done, and I keep jumping from screen to screen. What I've actually done here is I've put together practice plans. Keep moving me around the corner so you guys can read what I actually put together a practice plan. The first 7 practice plans. I get through all 4 core sets and all of the transitions. How do you get from one set to the next? And if this is not open, how do you get to that one? And if this is not open within that set, what do you do next? If he's not open, the back door's not open and the guy poppet's not open, what do you do next? All of that is broken down in these practice plans coming straight from the playbook and also including the offensive breakdowns in practice, okay? So this is actually probably my favorite part of this whole package, these practice plans. This took me a long time to put together. Went through, here for an example, here's old practice plans. Okay, just breaking this stuff down. This is actually how I do it. I actually type my practice plans out. Okay, I put them down on paper. That is not a practice plan. There's some playbooks. That was a game day sheet. Here's the old school playbooks. That's the old school playbook right there. Okay, that's the old school playbook. Okay, I wouldn't even give this to my coaches. I wouldn't let my players see it. I wouldn't let my assistant coaches see it. Okay, there's old school practices. That's a practice plan. Okay, I got the first 7 practices broken down. We actually get through more than I would. I probably crammed in a little bit more than what I would actually do. If I was coaching year 2, 3, 4, these are the practice plans I would use. If I'm going day 1, this is going to give you a great way to start, but it's not going to it's not going to overwhelm you either. Okay, so you got the practice plans, but now the question goes to, well, my players. I don't know if my players are good enough to run this offense. How do I get them to execute this thing? So I got all the skills, all of the drills broken down, so that you can actually see what we actually do on the full court. Okay, and is there anything else that you need after that? I've actually broken down that same skill work, the same drills into the practice plan. So I'm giving you the first half-hour practice, which is all skill work, and the next 30 to 40 minutes of actual offensive work. Okay, so you can see the whole offensive session start to finish. Okay, so everything you're getting in this first package, the playbook we valued at $247. I mean, that's years of stuff. The offensive breakdowns, the secret practice plans, skills and drills, the skill work practice, the actual practice plan for the skill work. We value that at $535. And if you guys want all of this, if you get in today, I'm going to give you 3 more bonuses. And remember, this is just package 1. So I've got 5 Princeton quick hitters. These are quick hitters that we put in along the way. And they there's quick hitters and then there's wrinkles. So it really gets, I really want you to see this. Like, I got a lot of stuff that I want to show you, but I just can't yet. So if you get in today, I'm going to give you 5 quick hitters. I'm also going to give you how we set up our offensive transition X's and O's. How we simplify it, but we also do a couple tricky things, because if we get an athletic team pressing us, how do you get the ball up the floor against them? Okay, so we do a lot of misdirection type stuff with our press offense. We go through it progression by progression. They can't take anything away. They can't take anything away at all. Okay. The third thing is we're going to give you what we do, because if you're really good at running the Princeton offense, you're going to start seeing some zones. So what do we do against the zone defense? Okay. So all of this together, value $636. The playbook, the offensive breakdowns, the practice plans, the skills and drills, the skill work practice plan, the quick hitters, transition X's and O's, the defense, the zone offense. We got one more thing. We did a few months ago, we did a Princeton Offense masterclass. For 3 days, we went through and broke down the entire Princeton Offense. And we spent about 2 hours a night, so it was almost 6 to 7 hours of training that we valued at $147. We're going to include this as well in this first package. All you valued at $783. Now, you're not going to pay, I mean, if you look at that, if you had all of this, and you're trying to run Princeton, if you had all this at your disposal, would it be worth it if you could finally run the Princeton offense and be confident that you had all the material you needed? Would it be worth it? If you could help your players become more confident and certain and understanding the game is huge. Would that be worth it to you? If it would give you the foundation to allow you the flexibility to adapt your offense to what your players need, because you're not going to run the entire Princeton offense. Okay, you can't run the entire thing. You need to pick and choose what's best for your players. And if this program showed you how to do that, would that be worth it? Okay, just save you years of studying, trial and error application, and thousands of dollars traveling across the country, jumping on planes, road trips, which are fun, and I encourage them if you have those resources. But if you don't, would all that be worth it? $783. Okay, you're not going to pay $783. We're not going to ask for that at all. We're going to give you all of this, the playbook, the breakdowns, the whole works, okay, free today. Okay, so if you want all of this is the playbook, the practice plans, the breakdowns, skill work, all of the bonuses, the master class, which is about 6 hours of teaching the Princeton offense. If you want this free today, I have one more package that I want to show you, and this is where things get really fun. If you really want to run the Princeton offense, first thing that we're doing, we are actually we're actually towards the end of this live workshop, but basically it's a 6-week program. Once a week we meet, and we've met for at least almost 2 hours every single week. So you get 9 to 12 hours of actually breaking down. So I taught low post in 30 minutes. I teach low post in an hour and a half, 2 hours in the first workshop. Okay, and then inside that workshop, we teach you how to get from low post to the next thing. Okay, so we break down low post, and we broke down chin in the first workshop, and then in the second workshop, we broke down point and open, and then in the third workshop, we talked about every single possible combination and transition, how to get from one to the other, to the other, to the other. Okay. We also, once a week, have met, and we're about halfway through this, or the film breakdown. So for another hour and a half, 2 hours, is I actually take film from my practices, from collegiate games, back to my practices, to my game tape, and actually breaking this down for about an hour and a half to 2 hours once a week for 6 weeks. and when we break this down, we talk about it, we show everything we do on the board, we show on film, and we show different contrasts. So we did a session, we took Georgetown, when Georgetown ran the Princeton in 05, 06, 07, and then we compared them to Air Force at the same time running the offense. And actually the video we did, they were both playing Duke. So Duke played their defense the same way against both teams. You can see if you have Georgetown players, you could run it one way. If you have Air Force players, you run it another way. And both of them were successful. Okay, Georgetown beat Duke that year, J.J. Redick's senior year. Okay, but I also have an Insiders Facebook group. So if you get in today, we have a private Facebook group that's separate from the Hoops in Detail. This is all Princeton Offense, and it's just for the coaches who purchase this program. And this is where we do all of the training live. We do a lot of extra stuff in there. This is where we have conversations, and we're building the largest community for actual Princeton coaches that there is out there. Just strictly Princeton, okay? So the live workshop, we valued at $497. I mean, it's 12 hours. 12 hours of teaching. The film sessions, I mean, it's 9 to 12 hours of breaking down film. Now, I've got 60 DVDs of games that I've watched more than once. Okay, now that's months of just watching game tape. If you put it all in a row, but 9 to 12 hours of breaking down film. All right, the Insiders Facebook group, $297. So $1,291, all that. But if you guys want to get in, I've got 3 more bonuses that I want to show you here. This is package number 2. For the next 5 guys, we already have a handful of these guys that are getting this access. But for the next 5 guys that sign up, I'm giving you like my personal Voxer. If you don't know what Voxer is, it's like a walkie-talkie app. You can beep beep and immediately I get it like a text, but it's audio. So we can actually have an audio conversation. For the next 5 that sign up to get into this, I'm going to give you access to my personal Voxer. Not just, I think I had on there just not for like the next month, but probably throughout the spring and summer. I'll let you have this personal access to this Voxer. So if you're putting them in the offense this summer, you can beep beep while you're in your shootouts, in your camps. You can say, hey, coach, I ran into this. What would you do? And we can have that conversation back and forth, okay? The second thing is we're doing bonus sessions. I've got a couple of these done. We're going to about 3 or 4 more of these to do yet in this workshop. But again, once a week through the 6-week program, we're doing about an hour and a half bonus sessions, ranging from offensive stuff to defensive stuff to team building stuff, to leadership stuff. And we're just not sticking to Princeton Offense. We're kind of going all over the place with these bonus sessions to where coaches want to go. Okay? Again, and that's about another 6 to 8 hours of content right there. The last thing, we have not started doing this, but we are going to take 5 to 10 players. We're going to take them on a court. We're going to professionally videotape it, professional audio, so you can actually hear me teach this and break this down start to finish. We're actually going to try to do 3 or 4 sessions. So 3 or 4 2-hour sessions. We're going to try to get 6 to 8, maybe 10 hours of on-floor training with actual players. The reason I'm doing this last, and I haven't done it yet, is because I wanted to talk to the coaches who bought and who are inside the program. I want to ask them, hey, coach, what would you like to see? How would you like to see it? What are your biggest problems? And I can tailor these on-floor demonstrations to what the coaches who buy and who are inside this program, what they actually want to see, okay? All right. So everything in this package number 2, the live workshop, the live film sessions, about 9 to 12 hours each. The Insiders Facebook group, where now we can have a private conversation about Princeton Offense. The Voxer, my private Voxer on the bonus sessions, another 5 to 6 hours. On-court demos, that says 2 to 4 hours, but I've decided that it's going to take a little bit more than that to get everything done, because if it takes me 4 hours to do it on the board, it's going to take me more than 4 hours to do it on a floor. Okay, so it's going to end up being 6 to 8 hours on-court demos. The biggest program I've seen out there is about 350 minutes. It's like 2.5 hours. Okay, maybe 3 hours, not 3 hours, 60, maybe 3 hours. Okay, we're all said and done here. You're going to have almost 48 to 50 hours of actual training on the Princeton Offense. It's like taking the week off, coming to my house, coming to my office, working on the board, talking to the offense, going to the film room, watching film, and then going to the gym, right? And then actually putting it what we've talked in on the floor in an actual practice situation. Okay, that's what we're doing here. That's what this program is going to be. So package 1 is valued at $783. Giving that to you today for free. Package 2 is valued at about $2,300. For everything you're getting is certainly worth that when you look at what else is out there. Okay, you go to Championship Productions, you buy a DVD for $40 and you get 45 minutes of coaches teaching you just a portion or just you're looking for looking for nuggets when you're watching those DVDs. You're not looking how to run a system. This is how you run an entire system. Okay. If all of this did for you was allow you to just be certain that you can 100% you can teach the Princeton like a pro. You're going to go in. You're not going to feel like it's not going to work. You don't feel like you don't know enough. You're going to have to back out. Okay. If it just confirmed you how to break down and rep the offense in practice, if it just give you complete confidence and certainty that your players, you can just turn them into skilled assassins geared specifically for this offense. Teach them how to score. Get 5 threats on the floor at one time. Would it be worth this much money so you didn't have to travel all the way across the country, spend a week with a college coach? You don't have to travel across the country, spend a week with me doing all of this on the floor. You can actually do it right there. Would it be worth that? So I actually talked to another coach who's actually in this industry, actually sells coaching products as well. He told me, he's like, Coach, everything that you're doing, you could easily sell for $1,000. Easily sell for $1,000. Today, I'm not going to sell it, not even for $497. We're not actually even going to sell for $247. But this is the rub. This is the trick. We have not started the on-floor demonstrations yet. Once we start doing the on-floor demonstrations, once we get those on tape, price is going to go up. Okay, we're actually going to increase the price once we do that because now we're going to have this real professional tape, the kind of stuff that you see everywhere else. Price is going to go up. It may go up to $247. It may go up to this as much as this $497 because what we're doing here, what we're giving away is more than any coaching program on one system. This is going to change the entire industry of how much training that you're going to get on the Princeton Offense, just one offensive system in this training. So we're not going to sell it to you for $497. We're not going to sell it to you for $247. All right, today it's $197. Just $197 for everything, for the playbook, for the breakdowns, and all of this that you see, the workshop, the film rooms, the Facebook group, the Voxer, the on-floor demonstrations are coming because I want to tailor those. Now, we're just finishing up the actual 6 week. We're actually finishing up this week and next. And then at the end, I'm going to actually get all these coaches together and say, Coach, what do you guys, now you've seen all this, what do you actually want me to do on the floor? And then we're going to go do that on the floor with actual players, okay? $197 for today. I'm going to put the link in the comments. So I have to change screens over here. So I think I can do it right here. I can get back off of that screen now. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'll actually post a link in the comments sections in a second. But if for any reason you get into this and you start going through the content, which it's all in a members area, I'm going to show you that too. Before we get off, I'm going to show you it's in the members area. If for any reason you don't think I've delivered on all of this stuff, or you just don't like the way I teach or the way I talk, you have 30 days, 100% money back, guaranteed. So you have actually zero risk. You're going to get all of this. It's not $3,100, $197 today. And I'm going to post the order link. I'm going to post it in the comments so you can go to it right away if you want. If you're ready, click right away. There is the link. Do not mind. Yeah, okay. So there's the link for the order page. And I want to show you this. This is the members area. So zoom in a little bit there so you can see it a little better. When you buy this program, this is what you get. So you're getting this stuff in the Facebook group, but you're also getting right here. This is a very preliminary formula. This is not the whole playbook, but what I'm going to show you here is the playbook. So first thing you're going to get the Facebook access. You're going to click this button, boom, takes you to the Facebook group. You request access. I give you access, boom, you're in. Okay. And then you go right down the list. Here's the secret playbook. Okay, and I keep updating this. So here's the playbook, and now we're going to. This has got the 35. This is about the 38, 40 pages right now, and it breaks down everything. Real clean, nice X's and O's. If I pop it open, click that button, pop it open. You can actually download this right to your computer. Kind of taking its time. Okay, boom, and you can see I'm starting to break it down in a very organized, very clean fashion. Okay, go through a few pages here. This is kind of all just philosophy type stuff. And then I'm going to get into the spacing, get into low series, get into low post. And this is all the stuff that we talked about. And the red one, I'm going to skip real fast because the red ones are all the secret stuff. Okay, the black ones are just the stuff. See what I'm saying? So the red stuff is the stuff I didn't teach you. The black pages are the ones that I actually taught. So this is the whole thing. Okay, this is the whole thing. This is open, and actually I show a lot more here in the open stuff, okay? So this is the playbook, right? That's the playbook. And the same thing for every single one. So when you go to the offensive breakdowns, click the button, download the breakdowns, how we break down low post, chin, point, open, okay? We got the practice plans, the first 7 days, right here they are. Skills and drills, all broken down into PDF, all nice and neat. You saw some of the design work that I did. It's all very nice and neat, very organized. Here's the practice plan for the skill works. Here's the Princeton. Here's the 5 quick hitters. Here's the offensive transition. So you just go down and click it, and here they are. And every time I update these, I'll let guys know in the Facebook group. Hey, coaches, I updated everything. You can go into the members area, and you can download the new stuff. Here's the master class. Here's the 3 videos on the master class. Video 1, video 2, video 3. That's just day 1. We broke it down into 3 videos because they're about 2.5 hours there. Here's day 2. All right, here's day 3. This is the master class. All right, here's the workshops. Workshop, day 1. Okay, I think this is about, if I click on it, it'll play. 2.5 hours. God, 2.5 hours. Jump around here a little bit. Okay, that's low post. And this is more private. I take my time a little bit more here teaching this. and we really break it down. So we answer all of the questions, okay? So this is week 1. In week 1, I actually kind of went through the playbook as well. Here's week 2. All right, and I believe these are all loaded up. Maybe not, I might not have week 6 loaded up yet, but it's week 4, there's week 5. All right, week 6 is not loaded up yet, but there you see what we're doing. Here's the film sessions. All right, film room 1. This is breaking down my actual practice. My players, one of my varsity teams. And we're going to and I break it down and I pause it. And we're going point over the top now. Let's see how far they get here. Boom, go back door. Pop them back to the ball. Now what we do here, and what we did this year, when we come off of this ball screen, kind of like, we didn't do this the first 2 years. We actually ran the point over the top more traditional, more deliberate. This year, I wanted to make it more so it was like point away, where you had a ball screen and a drift screen. So we adjust our point over the top. I haven't seen anyone. If I keep going here. So anyway, I really break it down in there so you guys get just a little snippet of how we broke down my actual practice. It's pretty good film. And this year we had some pretty darn good players that year. Here's some film of actually breaking down Air Force playing against 2 more athletic teams, and they beat both of these teams by 20 or 30 points. And we're going over this. Okay, what they do is they just, hey, 5 bands right there. Hey, let's just dribble up into chin. Chin, there's a drift. Okay. All right, so there's film room 2. Here's a third one. We go back to, I took 5 players and just 5 players. I actually made this video for my coaches, and I can actually pull players in. Hey, this is what I want you to see. So I actually filmed this, just 5 guys. I pulled 5 alumni, or three seniors and a couple younger kids. We actually went through the entire offense, start to finish. All right, that's what this is. This is the entire offense, start to finish. Everything we did here and more. Everything that's in the playbook is pretty much in this video. Okay, that part's really kind of cool. Film room 4. This is the Georgetown Duke day. Film room 5. I've still yet to do 5 and 6, so we still got to do those. Here's the bonus sessions. Here's the whole section. So you got 6 bonus sessions. Okay, this is what we're talking about, actually putting it into practice, breaking down practice. What do you teach first? That's what we did in this bonus session. This bonus session, I actually showed you how I actually went through the entire play. Well, I took the wrinkles and the counters and all that. I took all of that and I put it inside. I actually took it into the program that I used to actually make the playbook. So that was kind of neat. That was kind of a neat way to look at it. So there's 6 bonus sessions. Here's a bonus session that I'm actually not going to give away. Once this is all done, this is going to be separate. But right now, everyone who gets in is going to get this as well. This is one of my last, I think this is my last season at this school. And just watch how crisp. I've got 1 returning varsity player on this team. 1 returning varsity player on this team. This is at the end of the year. And these guys run this offense crisp. Just watch them move. Watch them cut. All right, and a lot of what you're seeing now, I took the concepts of the Princeton, and then I did a lot of my own stuff. Okay, so I really did things a lot different. I mixed dribble drive concepts in this and kept Princeton concepts. A lot of screen-on-screen interaction, a lot of drifts, a lot of misdirection. And I'm actually going to, in one of the last film sessions, I'm going to break that down, okay, in one of the last film sessions. But this is everything you get. Okay, this is everything that you get with this package, okay, all the way down through. So I wanted you guys to see that. Because that was, it's just so cool. There's just so much stuff. And if that's something that you're really interested in, again, it's, hop back over here to the screen. So $197, okay? The link is in the comments. It's hoopsanddetail.com/core4offer. Okay, you don't have to put in those extra letters or action. It's just hoopsanddetail.com/core4offer. That'll get you in there. Let me just write it in there one more time. www.hoopsanddetail.com/core4offer. Either one of those links will get you straight to it. And you can buy it. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, if you're actual coach and actual program that has a booster program, or your athletic director, you should be able to get this and actually get reimbursed for this. So if you use your own money to get this, you should be able to get reimbursed, because this is training. This is what you do. This is like going to a camp and get reimbursed in a school playing for. This is education for you as a coach. You can actually get this reimbursed, so there's very little risk for you as well. We give you so much, but then there's so little risk. Okay, so everything that you see there, everything that you guys get. Let's see if there's any more thing. You're going to get the workshop, the live film sessions, the Facebook group, the Voxer, the bonus sessions, the on-court demos. We're yet to record. That's actually going to be 6 to 8 hours. And then everything for $197, everything here. Package 1, package 2 for $197. Okay, and that is a steal. Okay, I really believe that is a steal for everything that you're going to get, everything that's in there. The playbook, the breakdowns, the practice plans, the skills and drills, the skill work practice plan, the 5 quick hitters, the transition X's and O's, the zone defense killer, the master class, which is 6 to 8 hours of video of me on the board. You got the workshop, which is 2 hours apiece. That's 12 hours. The film sessions, about 9 to 12, about 10, 12 hours. The Facebook group, the Voxer, only for the next 5, though. The bonus sections, another 5, 6 hours. And then the on-court demos, we're going to put all those together. Total value, $3,100, $197 for you today. All right, $197. Once we get the on-floor demos going, all right, that price is going to go up. It's going to go up to market value. It's going to go up. Like I said, I had one coach, he said he sells this stuff. He does this stuff on his own. He said, Coach, you could probably sell that for $1,000. It's probably going to go up to $497. That's kind of where my head's been. It's probably going to go to $497 once we get the on-court demos professionally made, set up. The program's probably going to go for $497. So, but everything you see here, guys, this is what you're getting. It's a huge package. The offer is not going to stay at $197 forever. And actually, this Sunday we're going to close this down. So this offer is actually through this Thursday, through this Sunday. Then we might not offer it again for a few weeks or maybe a couple weeks. And the price may go, if we get those demos started, the price may go up once we do those next offers. So $197 a day, closes down Sunday at midnight. Sunday at midnight. I've gone into Monday before. We're not doing that this time. Sunday at midnight, we're taking this down. You cannot purchase it again after Sunday at midnight. So $197, everything that you see, everything right here. You get the members area, Facebook group, everything's almost already in here, so you don't have to. The first round of coaches, we had about 10, 12 coaches already get in and get this on the first round, and they had to wait week by week. But they're also in season. But now when you get this, most of this stuff is already in there. You can already just jump in. You can start learning. You can start getting ready for next year. If you're running it this year and you want something new for the tournament, it's already in there. So, coaches, I'm going to let you guys go tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I know we went a little bit longer than an hour and a half, which I wanted to. I will post a couple more videos this weekend so that you guys can take one more look at this because it's going to be open all weekend until Sunday at midnight. So I'll get on Facebook Live and we'll talk about it just a little bit more. And if you guys are really serious and getting it, it is hoopsandDetail.com/core4 offer. Okay. If there are any coaches still on here, I wanted to give you a couple more gifts. I said. So let me show you what those are real quick. I'm going to put these in the comments. So if you want the practice plan, that's going in the. Let me type that in here. The practice plan template. There it is. That is it's on my Google Drive. If you want the scouting report, I'm going to put that in there as well. Boom. Okay, so if you guys hung out this long, those are in there. Once we're out of here, I'll probably take those back down because they're just for the guys, just for the coaches who stayed to the very end. So hoopsandDetail.com/core4 offer. And there are the two links for the practice plan template and the scouting report template. All right, coaches, thanks a lot. Really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with it. This is really fun for me to do. Breaking down the core 4 sets: low post, chin, point, open. If you guys want to take it to the next level, all right, it's all there for you. And it's really, for everything you're getting, it is actually a steal. You can't get this much content on one system. If you want to learn one system, you're not going to get this from anybody else anywhere out there, okay? So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you guys soon.